But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's gonna be a lot more happening throughout this year.
Being a YouTuber seems like it would be an amazing job, and indeed it is the #1 job that young people say they want to have when they grow up. So if this is such a dream job, why are so many YouTubers quitting? Well, first of all, I think it's just important to point out that people are always changing careers. They're always quitting things, always starting new things, and YouTube is no different. In fact, with millions of video creators on the platform, I think it's safe to say that every day a few, if not hundreds, of YouTubers choose to do something different for one reason or another. But I think that what happens is that when a couple or more big names all decide to end their channels or take a big step back in close succession, that people start to notice. Because obviously if they're big names, they have a lot of subscribers. So there's millions of people who become aware of the fact that multiple YouTubers are quitting, and that causes them to start asking, why are so many YouTubers quitting? In fact, when I was doing research for this video, I found dozens of Reddit threads with people asking this exact same question and having discussions about it. I found dozens of articles talking about why so many YouTubers are quitting. But like I said, YouTubers are always quitting. Sometimes it just gets a little bit more limelight than other times. But I think this is still an issue worth talking about, especially if you are a YouTuber yourself or you're thinking about starting a channel. Seeing these big creators quit their channels might have you having second thoughts about whether or not this is really a good decision. Is YouTube all it's really cracked up to be? Is it really a good career choice? Why would these people be quitting if it was really as great as it seems? I've identified 6 main reasons why YouTubers have been quitting recently. So let's talk about each of those, as well as why those are or aren't reasons for you to pursue YouTube or not. The first reason why big YouTubers quit is because, well, YouTube is work.
I can't keep this up. This is my dream job and I have a lot of fun doing it. I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job, and it's a job that keeps getting bigger and more complicated, and I am so tired.
And by the time you have built an extremely successful channel, by the time you have millions of subscribers, honestly, you probably don't need to work another day in your life as long as you have been spending and saving even reasonably responsibly. And so I think it's really reasonable that YouTubers might choose to quit because, like I said, YouTube is work. And after doing YouTube for 10+ years, like a lot of the creators who have quit recently have done, of course, they might be somewhat tired of it. They might be ready to move on to the next thing or just ready for a break.
There's been a video a week for 10 years. I never broke the streak.
And that leads me to reason number 2, which is that some of these creators have let YouTube really take over their lives. They might have let YouTube as a platform take over their life. Maybe they're addicted to social media or addicted to the feedback that they get from the viewers. They might have let their business take over their lives or the video making process take over their lives. This was something that Matt Pat talked in his quitting YouTube video.
I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content.
That honestly sounds quite exhausting, and I don't blame anyone for taking a step back from YouTube or any other job that is taking over their life like that.
I've made over 700 videos on this channel over the last 7 years, and that's unreal, but also a bit of a problem. You can't forever be emptying the tank, giving your everything.
The third reason why these YouTubers have quit is because of just how long they've been doing it. A lot of them have lost their passion. Again, super understandable. The nature of building a brand, building an audience, building a YouTube channel is that you have to stay focused on one topic. And while most of us are extremely passionate about whatever topic we choose to make our channels around when we first start our channels, I think it's so understandable that after 5 or 10 years of talking about that topic and making hundreds, if not thousands of videos on that topic, that a creator would be ready to move on. Now, one of the best things you can do to avoid getting burned out as a creator is to make sure that you have other hobbies other than YouTube. Over the past couple of years, I've been exploring so many different hobbies because prior to that, I didn't really have any hobbies and YouTube was my main hobby, and I could just see it starting to take over my life. So I've started doing things like learning how to watercolor, learning how to bake, especially sourdough bread, learning how to draw, learning how to crochet, learning how to garden, just all of the kind of homemaking type of arts and crafts. I really like to do things that are somewhat productive, but also very artistic and creative. And one of the most valuable resources I found for doing this is Skillshare. If you haven't heard of Skillshare before, it is this amazing learning platform that gives you access to hundreds of courses on all sorts of different topics, everything from business topics to tech, to art, to homemaking skills, like literally everything you can imagine. There's also music classes. I have lately been really loving going through their watercolor courses because I just love watercolor. And prior to this, I was using some free tutorials on YouTube and some books, but I really wanted to do a course because I find that it's so much easier to learn something when you are going through a curriculum that starts with easier material and then gradually, progressively gets harder. Now, not only does Skillshare have courses exactly like that, but they also have these things called learning paths where they've lined up a series of courses that gradually start with easier ones and get to harder ones. And I found this to be so valuable as I've been pursuing my watercolor journey. So Skillshare is a great resource for adding some enjoyable hobbies into your life, but it also can be a great asset to your business. So if you want to learn skills to grow your business or start a business, like how to grow your email newsletter or how to grow here on YouTube or how to launch a picture book on Kickstarter or how to start your own Etsy shop, there are classes on Skillshare for every one of those topics and so many more from people who have done those things themselves and can share their experience with you. Now, if you want to join me on this learning journey and start adding some fun hobbies to your life and growing yourself personally, growing your business, then check the description below for the link because Skillshare has agreed to give the first 500 people who click that link 1 month of Skillshare for free. So that's available just for the first 500 people who click that link. So get started today, click that link and join Skillshare. Reason number 4 why some of these creators have quit, I don't think is one of the main reasons, but it definitely contributes to it. And that is that their channels might not be as profitable as they used to be. Now, that's not because the money still isn't in YouTube. There's still a lot of money in YouTube.
So this is how much money people think YouTubers make. But this is how much money they actually make. 20, 30, 40, wait. Okay, I think that's all of it.
But as a channel gets bigger and bigger, it often gets less profitable. There are at least 2 different reasons for this. One is something that Jimmy, Mr. Beast, has talked about. I heard him talking about this recently in an interview where he was talking about relaunching his chocolate brand and why he had chosen to sell his own products. And he said that with the amount of views that he gets on his videos, it's very difficult to find sponsors who are able to put up that kind of investment. And so he's a very limited pool of businesses who could potentially sponsor his videos because they have to be the right fit for his target audience and also have a marketing budget that is big enough to be able to make that kind of investment. And that totally makes sense. And so that would be the case for any really big channel. So that's one reason why these big channels aren't as profitable as they used to be. But the other reason is because the bigger a channel gets, typically the higher its expenses get. Most of the time, these people have taken on rather large teams of people, sometimes a dozen or more people who are working for them.
That's why over the last couple years, we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channel.
And those expenses can really add up. The fifth reason that a lot of YouTubers quit when their channels get really big is because their channel, their work, their job changes in ways that they don't like. So specifically, I was talking about how Jimmy was relaunching his chocolate brand. And this is a move, well, not relaunching a chocolate brand, but launching products is a move that a lot of channels end up making when their channels get bigger because, as I mentioned, it's harder to find sponsors and you can make more money selling your own products. And sometimes it creates more stability as well. Also, sometimes the creators are already thinking about their exit strategy, and so they want to build a business that will be able to continue to make money after they stop making videos, perhaps because they've lost their passion because they've been doing it for so long. But the problem is that a lot of creators, a lot of YouTubers got into the YouTube game because they loved making videos. And they are creative people, they're artists, and that's what they really want to do. And when they find themselves running a business and selling products and marketing, they realize that's not what they're passionate about at all, and they are not enjoying the process of running their channel anymore. And that directly relates to the sixth reason why some of these creators quit, which is that they wanted to make videos, not manage a team. As the business grows, the team grows, as I was talking about before, but most of the time, these people who are the creative sort, they actually really like working alone. Or if they do like working with people, they still don't want to manage people. I know this is something that Matt D'Avella and Ali Abdaal talked about in their videos, as well as an interview that Matt did with Ali.
We both ended up in very different places. Ali still runs a team with 10 employees, and I'm going back to being a solo creator again. Based on my own experience, I had to wonder whether he was genuinely happy running such a large team. So I asked him.
For me, scaling the business has been very worth it, but I have not enjoyed the process of hiring and managing employees. The place I've gotten to now is that I don't actually manage anyone. The only person I manage is Angus, who is my general manager. And I don't really manage him. He's like the CEO of the company, so he manages himself. But Angus manages everyone else in the team. So this is amazing because now I can spend all of my time focusing on creating content, which is the thing that I enjoy, reading, writing, learning, and teaching. And I spend literally 0% of my time, maybe like 1% of my time, on things that look like management.
And I've experienced this myself as well. As helpful as it can be to have a great video editor, and that really can be a huge time saver, a lot of the creative work of making a video actually happens in the edit. Yes, some of it happens when you plan the video, and some of it happens when you're actually filming the video, but a lot happens in the edit. And so most of the time, your video can only ever be as good as your editor is. And it can be really hard to find a good enough editor who can do your videos justice and make them as good as they need to be to succeed on YouTube. And when I tried outsourcing other parts of the process, like writing scripts for the videos or help with filming, I found that overall it just made the process a lot more complicated, and it actually made the quality go down. Even if in a technical sense some of the shots might have been more beautiful or something like that, overall I didn't feel like the videos flowed together as well, and I certainly didn't enjoy the process nearly as much. Now that's not to say that this can't be done, that you can't make videos with a production crew. I mean, obviously that is how movies are made, but I mean, think about the size of the budgets for a movie, right? They can be very expensive, and at the very least, making videos that way with a team is quite a different ball game than the ball game of creating videos all on your own, just talking to a camera or just filming the videos yourself, which is the game that most people started YouTube to play. So considering all of these quite valid reasons why many YouTubers choose to eventually quit the platform, is YouTube still a good choice? Is it still a good platform for building your brand? Is it still a good place to post videos? Is it still fun? Is it still profitable? Well, first of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that yes, YouTube has changed, but that's nothing new. YouTube has been a platform that has evolved quite a lot and quite continuously continuously ever since it was first created back in 2005. I mean, did you know that when it was first created, YouTube was actually a weird dating site where you could like watch videos of people and then hook up? Yeah, it was really weird. And that changed really quickly. After just a few months, they ditched that idea. They're like, this is not working. And they went on to build the first version of YouTube as we know it today. But it was really different. I mean, not only did it look different, but just the way the algorithm worked. I mean, there wasn't an algorithm at all. And it has grown so much and changed so much. We used to have like that star rating system. You used to be able to leave video responses on videos you watched. And now we've got, you know, the thumbs up, we've got the community section, there's YouTube Premium, which was previously YouTube Red. So much has changed. And as things have changed, YouTube has repeatedly been under fire. I mean, people never like change, but I think they're especially vocal about it these days in this very public forum where we all have our own voice and we're all making videos about our opinions about stuff. So YouTubers are a quite vocal crowd. So every time YouTube makes changes, of course they're always trying to improve things, but people always give them a really hard time. And I'm not saying YouTube is always right, not by a long shot. YouTube has made plenty of really bad decisions, but my point in saying all of this is that the reason why YouTubers are quitting today is not because YouTube has changed. YouTube is always changing. That's nothing new. What hasn't changed is the fact that YouTube is the best place to post videos on the internet. If you look at a graph of YouTube's users and YouTube's views over the years, you can see that it has just continuously gone up and up and up, and it is not stopping. YouTube is the biggest video sharing platform in the world, and it's one of the very biggest social platforms, period. And it's not dying, it's continually growing. All that to say is if you want to create video content on the internet, YouTube is the place to be, especially if you want to create long-form video content. But that doesn't change the fact that some of these creators in their videos about why they're stepping back from YouTube or quitting entirely say that YouTube has changed, or the internet has changed, or the internet's not like it used to be. But this is something that, again, is nothing new. People always tend to reminisce about the good old days. And the fact is that, like I said, most of these creators have been running their channels for over 10 years. And so it's not surprising that they might miss the way things used to be. That's not to say that they're worse today, but it is different. And it will continue to be different. But the real question that I want to answer in this video is YouTube a good place for you to build your brand? When you see these big creators quitting, that could cause you to question your choice to build your brand on YouTube. Maybe you were thinking about starting a channel, but this gives you pause. Or maybe, I'd say this is perhaps the most likely situation, maybe you started a channel, you've been working on it for a few months or even a year or two, but it's not growing as fast as you would like it to. And so now that you see these bigger creators stepping back, you think, maybe they're stepping back because YouTube is dying. In fact, I even saw a couple news articles that talked about something like this, like all the creators are leaving YouTube, YouTube is dying. But like I said earlier on, the fact is that YouTubers are always quitting. People just pay attention when a couple big name YouTubers quit close together, or especially if a whole handful of bigger channels happen to quit close together. But of course, that's going to happen from time to time, right? People are always quitting, and sometimes there will be a few bigger channels that quit all at the same time, but that doesn't mean that YouTube is dying. That doesn't mean that everyone's leaving. There is a ton of visibility to be had on YouTube, and if you want to create videos, like I said, YouTube is really the place to be. And there are brand new channels that are blowing up all the time, literally every day. And that is in part due to the fact that YouTube is continually acquiring new users. It's in part due to the fact that viewers' tastes are always changing. It's in part due to the fact that creators are always quitting, making room for new people. And it is perhaps in whole due to people's insatiable desire for new video content. But I also do want to point out that YouTube is a competitive place. There are literally millions, I believe over 100 million creators on the platform. But most of these channels, more than 50% of these channels, have less than 100 subscribers. They haven't posted very many videos, they're not posting consistently, and they're really hardly competition at all. They're basically just noise that you need to stand out from, but not really competition. And then we see another huge percentage, about 30% or so, who, yes, have more than 100 subscribers, but they don't even have 1,000 subscribers. They're not monetized. They may or may not be publishing regularly. And so these people are competition, but they're easy competition. It's only about 17% of channels that actually get monetized, they get more than 1,000 subscribers, and they are publishing on a regular basis. And so that is really the competition that's out there. And yes, that is still a lot of channels. It's still millions of channels, but compared to the number of, say, websites that are out there, it's actually practically nothing. And it's relatively easy to rank your videos on YouTube if you know what you're doing. If you haven't already watched my YouTube strategy masterclass, then that is a great place to start to learn the basics and just get your head around this whole how to work with the YouTube algorithm thing so that you can get your videos ranking quickly, you can get your channel growing quickly, you can get to 1,000 subscribers, that really coveted milestone, get your channel monetized, all in less than 3 months. If you haven't already watched the class, you can do so for free at creatorfasttrack.com/workshop-registration. Or you can just go to creatorfasttrack.com, and if you just scroll down a tiny bit, you'll see the link to register for the free class right there. Like I said, it's just a really good starting place and it's completely free. And finally, I just want to emphasize how important it is to be clear on what you really want your YouTube career to end up looking like. Like I said, a few of the reasons why YouTubers sometimes end up quitting is because their channel kind of gets away from them. It ends up taking up their whole life, or it turns into a big team and managing a lot of people, or it turns into running a business and selling products. And if you don't want those things, if you just want to make videos, I have really good news for you, and that is that you 100% can do that. But I think it's super important to be clear on that from the beginning and clear on that as you continue to make videos and really lean into and enjoy the process of making videos if that is what you want to do. But also, that's not the only way to do it. Maybe you have a business. For example, maybe you have a skincare brand and you want to use YouTube to market your products. That's okay. You don't have to lean into the video creation process. You absolutely can use YouTube as a platform to market your business by creating, say, skincare videos. You can have your team create the videos that can be posted on your channel, they can rank in search, and it can provide a ton of great visibility for your brand and attract a ton of customers for you without you having to become a full-time video creator. So again, I just think it's super important to be clear on exactly what you want out of YouTube, what parts of the process you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what you want to outsource, and you know what your goals for your channel are. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to use that link in the description to give Skillshare a try because it will give you 1 month of Skillshare for free and you can do a lot of learning with a month of Skillshare. So get started today. Next up, watch this video right here where I interview YouTube superstar Jenny Hoyos. She's gotten over 1 billion views on her videos here on YouTube and I think we can all learn a thing or two from her. So watch the interview right here.